Taking a comfortable seat, wiggle yourself in. Remember, sit any way that feels good for you. This is your practice, so make it yours. If there's something I'm doing that you don't like or doesn't work for you, just do something else. I'll never know if you decide to spend the whole practice just lying on your mat and resting and just listening, having intention around the practice. I thought for today's practice and Sundays as well, or the next practice, that we'd work a little bit on having a strong core so that we could more fully move from our center. In yoga, this center is called our hara, and it tends to sit about an inch or two behind our navel. And this is an area where we make a lot of decisions. We might have a gut reaction or we sense something. And although we'll be working on some strength of the core, it's also about just touching base with your core, finding, how are you moving from your center? And if you keep bringing your attention back to this center space, does that change anything for you? So I'd like you to play with those thoughts during our practice today. We'll be working all of the abdominal muscles, so your rectus abdominis, which runs from your pubic bone to your sternum, your obliques, which run around the top and the bottom, as well as your intercostals inside your ribs, and that big one that we like to talk about, the transverse abdominis, that comes from around your back all the way down, kind of just past your hip bones to your center. In addition, I'd like to just mention quickly, because I'm going to bring it into practice, the idea of your pelvic floor. Because your pelvic floor is an integral part of your core or your center. And the pelvic floor sits between your sitting bones, so you can find your two sitting bones on the left and right side, and then your pubic bone and your tailbone. And those bones all make a diamond shape. And inside of that diamond, there are just a lot of muscles, and they make up your pelvic floor. That's kind of like a trampoline. And I'd like you just to kind of think about that today. We'll play a little bit with the breath and noticing our pelvic floor. When you're in your yoga postures, you can engage the pelvic floor as part of your core to help you find more strength and stability in your postures. And then we can take that idea off the mat to just have more strength and stability in the decisions that we make that come from our center. So with all of that information, bring your hands to your belly for a moment. Allow your eyes to close. Take a deep breath in and exhale with a sigh. As you exhale, notice what happens at your belly, at your center. Do that one more time. Take a deep breath in, fill up, notice the expansion, the openness. And as you exhale, release. Feel the drawing in, the engaging of the abdominal wall muscles. And then we'll do that one more time, and this time I'd like you to bring your awareness to your pelvic floor. So inhale, fill up completely, notice the pelvic floor. You might feel it expanding or opening. And as you exhale, can you slightly feel the pelvic floor lifting up and into the body? That's what we'll be working with today. So after that breath, let the hands relax. Draw your shoulders up to your ears for a moment, and if all of that just felt like too much for your practice today, you can just let it go and drop the shoulders. One more time, pull the shoulders up to your ears and drop, coming into the body, starting to take full deep breaths. Allowing those full breaths to draw deep into your lower belly, that area in front of your transverse abdominis or behind the transverse abdominis. Weave its way up through your ribs, the intercostal muscles, expanding the obliques. And those intercostal muscles go all the way up to your collarbones as they sit within each of the ribs. And as you exhale, release completely and feel all of those muscles drawing in toward the midline. At the end of the exhalation, feel a gentle tug in of your navel. And then soften and fill up again. Let the depth of your breath become deeper gradually. Each breath gives you a moment to bring yourself into practice, to decide how you'd like to show up and be present. how you might want to play with your edges in practice today. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to breathe in, and then as you breathe out, it could be through the nose or the mouth. I want you to focus on drawing your navel in to a count of 4. So starting to really warm up through the abdominal wall with our exhalation. So take a breath in, filling up. And as you exhale, pull in, pull in, pull in, pull in. Inhale, expand and soften. Exhale, pull in, pull in, pull in, pull in. Inhale, expand. As you exhale, you're pulling in through the intercostals, through the rectus abdominis, the obliques, and the transverse abdominis. And then soften everything, expand on your inhale. Exhale, pull in, pull in, pull in, pull in. Inhale and expand. Exhale, pull in, pull in, pull in, pull in. One more like this. Inhale, expand. Exhale, pull in, pull in, pull in, pull in. And now I'd like you to breathe in deeply. Continue doing the pull-ins, but I want you to think of pulling the pelvic floor up. And it can be to a count of 4. So inhale, expand. Exhale, lift, 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 lift. Inhale, release. Exhale, lift, 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 lift. Inhale, release. Exhale, lift, 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 lift. Inhale, one more time. Exhale, lift, 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 lift. And just resume some natural breathing now. Noticing what it feels like, where your awareness is. And as we move through practice, just consider coming back to how you're drawing in to strengthen both the pelvic floor and the abdominal wall. With your next inhalation, raise your arms forward and up. Thread your fingers together. And as you exhale, tip a little bit over to the left, staying long through the side body, so stretching out some of the muscles that we were just engaging. Then inhale, come up to center, and as you exhale, release to the other side. And let yourself go side to side. Inhale, lifting, exhale, over. You don't have to go very far, just starting to warm up. If it's too much to have your hands overhead, feel free to keep your fingers at your shoulders or even your hands at the floor, that's okay. Just creating some lateral extension and lateral flexion in the side body. So side bending. Next time that you come up, take a deep breath in. Exhale, draw the tailbone down, round the spine, press the knuckles forward, dropping your chin in towards your chest. And then turn your palms away from you, lift your tailbone, inhale, bring the arms up and overhead. And then go back and forth, seated cat and cow. Again, the arms can always be at your knees. You don't have to keep them up and over the head. Opening and closing. Inhale as you arch and open the front of the body, stretching all the abdominal muscles. And then exhale and round. One more time like this. Inhale, lifting all the way up. As you exhale, rounding once more, take a full breath in, lift the spine long, keep the hands in front of you, but drop your shoulders down. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, twist over to the right, stay really tall. And if you want, tug a little of your right fingers on your left fingers to deepen the stretch in the shoulder and keep helping you to twist over toward the right. As you inhale, come back through center. And exhale, twist over to the other side. I'm not going too quickly. One again, coming through center and over. Inhaling through center, exhaling to the left. With this inhalation, come back to center and exhale, release your arms. Take a moment here and then just take your front foot, place it behind your back foot so that you're switching the cross of your legs if you're sitting cross-legged. And then draw your arms out in front of you. We'll be working with a little bit of hara breathing today to really come back into our center. It's a breath in through the nose and out through the mouth with a ha, so that you're feeling when you ha, you feel an exhalation and a pulling in of your belly. It's also great for building a little energy. The only reason you wouldn't want to do this is if you're pregnant, if you have an abdominal hernia, or if you have uncontrolled high blood pressure. So if you're good to go, we'll get going. Otherwise, if you've got one of those things going on, just sit tall and breathe deeply. You can go back to those belly pull-ins. So reaching the fingers forward, big breath in. And exhale, pull the elbows back, pull the hands back. Ha! Inhale, exhale, ha! Inhale, and exhale. Ha! Move at your own pace. Ha! Last one, reach out and then inhale all the way up, turn the palms away from you. Exhale, release your arms all the way down. Just feel the energy moving through the body. And then take another breath in. Exhale softly. Then take a moment to slide off of your blanket if you're sitting on a blanket. Release your legs, draw them out and around so that you can come up into table position, hands and knees. Take a blanket underneath your knees if you need a little extra support. And then lift your pubic bone just a tiny bit and feel your abdominal wall engaged. And then move the tailbone up so the belly drops toward the earth. Notice how you've let go of your belly. And then draw the tailbone back a little bit and really feel the whole front side of your body coming to meet the back side of your body. Hold yourself here and imagine that you're trying to lift yourself off of your mat. So you're trying to lift the front of the body up to the back of the body, trying to lift the hands off the floor, the legs off the floor. There's a lot of muscle engagement going on here, especially around the abdominal wall. This is called a micro movement. And then soften that just a little bit. As you exhale, round your spine, chin coming in toward the chest. Pull your right knee toward your nose. And then as you inhale, take that leg straight back behind you. The abdominal wall stays strong here. Exhale, curl in. Inhale, extend. Go back and forth a few times, and as you do this, notice how does your lower abdominal wall work? How does your rectus abdominis work as you curl yourself in? It's like doing crunches. So be very mindful of your movement. Exhale, curl in. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, curl. Inhale, reach back. One more time. Then as you take that leg back, then curl in just part way. So then the right knee just passes the left and you're hanging out here. Keep drawing your lower abdominal wall in and let the right knee be heavy. And slide the knees back toward one another. Both knees come to the ground. Take your right hand off the floor, give it a little bit of a shake. Place it down. Take your left hand off the floor, give it a little bit of a shake. And then bring that hand down. As you next exhale, pull the whole front of the body up to meet the back of the body. Lift your pubic bone just a little and reach out through the crown of your head. Imagine you're trying to levitate off the floor. So how do you engage all of your muscles to do that? And if anybody gets there, let me know. Next exhalation, you're going to round, bring the left knee in toward the nose. As you inhale, take the legs straight back. Press out through the heel, both hip bones pointing toward the floor. Exhale, curl in. Inhale, press back. Back and forth a few times. Really focus on your abdominal wall and how it's helping you to make the movement. Feeling the engagement in the body. Good. One more time. As you next take that leg back behind you, you're really going to focus on lower abs, pulling in to pull that left knee now just a little bit past the right. Let it hang there. Navel drawing in. Strong abdominal wall. And then bring both knees back in the same line. Send the knees to the floor. Shift your hips back to your heels for a moment. Turn your palms up and just open and close your hands. So make a fist and then let it go. Take a deep breath in here and exhale. And then with your next inhalation, come up onto your knees into a kneeling position or a kneeling Tadasana. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and up, ears in line with the arms. And as you exhale, I'd like you to really hug the navel in with control. Send your hips and your hands back to your heels. Lower your forehead to the floor. Your hands will come on top of your lower back. Press into your feet, engage the abdominal wall again. And inhale, sweep yourself forward and up, finding a little bit of a back bend as you come up. And go back and forth. Exhale, find the work, the control of lowering down. Inhale, coming up. And if this is too much for the soles of your feet, you can keep your toes turned under. You'll have to turn them down to come all the way down into child. Otherwise, you'll find that you lose your balance. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, releasing down. Notice if you shift or wobble to one side or the other, that might be your weaker abdominal side. The next time that you're inhaling and coming up, stay there and turn your toes under. If it's too much to have your arms up, keep your hands at your lower back. Otherwise, both arms are up. Press your hips forward as you come into a modified camel, stretching out everything that you were just working. And if it's comfortable for you here, take your right arm, turn, look back for your right heel. Let your head release back as well. Opening the front of the body. The eyes can gaze up. They can gaze back at that foot. Do what feels okay for you. There's a very slight squeeze in the buttocks. On your inhalation, lift up, bring that arm up. Send your hips and hands back. Child's pose for a moment. Releasing down. With your next inhalation, look forward. Sweep yourself all the way up again, finding that modified camel, toes turn under. Again, hands can be at your lower back. This time the left arm reaches back, fingers coming to the heel. The eye gaze can be up or turning to look back. Pull the heels in toward one another and stretch through your fingertips. If it's too much to come up by lifting the back arm up, slide it to your lower back. Press yourself up, bring the arm up. Release the feet, and once more, float back down into child's pose. On your inhalation, press yourself up to sit on your heels. If sitting on your heels doesn't work, you can stay kneeling. You can also sit cross-legged. Inhale, bring your arms up and overhead. As you exhale, release the fingers to the shoulders. Holding here. We'll come back into some hara breathing, in through your nose, out through your mouth, by really pulling in and saying that ha sound so you contract through the middle belly. We'll be twisting to the right. So it's an in through the nose, out through the mouth, and as you twist, we take a breath at center. The twist is where you ha out. Take a deep breath in, sitting tall, and begin. Ha, 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 ha. Keep the abdominal wall strong. Keep going. Feel your obliques and your intercostals working here. Ha, 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 ha. Come back to center. Relax the arms down. Big breath in. Exhale through the mouth. And sweep the arms forward and up again. As you exhale, fingertips come to the shoulders. Turning now to the left, sitting tall, abdominal wall strong. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And begin. Ha, 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 ha. Come back to center, deep breath in. Exhale. Just notice the fire or tapas that you're building, Agni, in your center. Notice the warmth there or any sensation that you might be feeling. And if you've been in a cross-legged position, if you could come to sit on your heels or to sit or come to kneeling up on your knees. And then inhale and sweep your arms forward, turn the palms down. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, release your hands back behind you, threading your fingers together, pressing the knuckles away. If it's too much back here to hold the fingers together, you can bring your hands to your lower back, elbows reaching toward the back of the room. If you're holding onto your knuckles, the elbows are slightly bent and you're reaching the knuckles toward the floor. Lift your sternum up. And as you exhale, begin to hinge forward. The navel draws in, forehead comes to the floor, pressing the knuckles up to the ceiling. If this feels okay, you can stay here. If you'd like to move a little further into the posture, Yoga Mudrasana, lift your head a little, move it forward, and then roll forward up onto the top of your head, up onto the crown, as you press your knuckles toward the ceiling. Now while you're here, draw your navel in. Really feel the whole front of the body coming to meet the back of the body. You can stay right here or lift your feet a little off the floor, and that will make there be more work for your center. As always, listen to your body. Do what feels okay for you. If you've raised your feet, lower them down, and then slowly, hands come to your lower back, stay connected, roll back into child's pose, and then lift your head, look forward, press your knuckles away from you, and scoop yourself slowly all the way back up to sitting or kneeling, and then release your hands, let them float around to your thighs, just noticing here. Full breath in, full breath out. With your next inhalation, pull yourself forward into table. Walk the legs back, the abdominal wall is strong. Shift your shoulders over your wrists and slowly lower yourself down onto your belly. Rock a little side to side with your hips, bringing your legs together. The toes are reaching back behind you. Lower your forehead to the floor. Slide your hands a little bit under the shoulders, maybe even so that the fingers are right in line with the chest. Pulling the shoulders up toward the sky, elbows tucking tight to the body. Scoop your belly in. And just hold here for a moment, noticing sensation, the work through the lower back. And then on an exhalation, without using your hands, begin to lift the torso and head up into a baby cobra, Bhujangasana. Hold here, the shoulders pull back. Part of our core is strengthening our back. Feel a slight squeeze in the glutes, reaching back through the toes. Take a full breath in. Now exhale, slowly lower down. You can come right back into that baby cobra, or if you'd like to work with a fuller cobra, starting the same, everyone scoop in, reach through the crown of the head, shoulders pull up, begin to lift the torso up, and then you can stay right here. The eye gaze is down at the mat. If you're moving a little bit farther, press into your palms, begin to lift the torso up. Once you come up, the elbows are bent. You're not hanging out in your joints. The shoulder blades squeeze together, the navel draws in, reach back through the toes. Don't throw the head back. Keep the head very neutral. There should feel like there's a lot of work happening in your arms. Finding your breath here, noticing what it feels like as the belly is pulled taut. And then on your exhalation, stay long, slowly release all the way down. Turn your head to one side, release your arms. Take a breath in, exhale with a sigh. And draw your feet toward the ceiling and circle your lower legs a few times. Pause and go in the opposite direction. And then bring the feet to stillness, lower them down to the floor. Turn the forehead, chin, or lips to the floor once more. And take your arms out into cactus or goddess arms. Rock your hips a little side to side, reach back through the toes, scoop the belly in. And as you exhale, lift the arms off the floor and then lift the chest and head off the floor. Take another breath in, reach back through the toes, and as you exhale, lift your legs off the floor. So it's a cactus boat or a goddess boat, whatever you'd like to call it. If that's too much to lift everything, just lift the arms and torso, or just lift the legs. Find your breath here, feeling the strength of the body. With your next exhalation, releasing all the way down, let your arms go, turn your head the opposite direction. And take a big breath in through your nose. Exhale with a sigh. As you exhale, turn your toes under. And just take a moment to press through your heels. Lift your knees off the floor. Notice what that feels like. And then lower the knees down to the floor. The toes stay turned under. Turn your forehead toward the floor, your face toward the floor. The hands come underneath the shoulders. Hug your navel in and press yourself back up into table position, hands and knees. Give a little cat-cow to your lumbar spine just to release anything that might be going on there. And then hold in stillness. You're lifting that pubic bone a little bit again, bringing the whole front of the body to meet the back of the body. Walk your hands forward, one hand print. And then pull your shoulders forward, back over your wrists. Walk your knees back just a little. As you come into a knee down plank, you can also lift your feet a little bit off the floor. Do what feels right to you. Abdominal wall draws in here. And if you'd rather come into full plank, turn your toes under, press through your heels, making a table with your upper body, tailbone drawing down. And wherever you are, press down into your hands and pull the hands toward one another, just as you're pulling the upper body back to the lower body, the front of the body to the back of the body. Holding here. Find your breath. Back of the neck is long. And then lower the knees down to the floor. Walk the hands back, coming back into table position. Take your right leg back behind you once more. Bend the right knee, bringing the heels slightly toward the buttocks, and just notice how that allows you to dip your lower back. Pull the belly up so that you don't dip quite so much. And then take that left hand back behind you. You can stay right here, finding your balance, hugging everything into the midline of the body, or take the foot into the hand into the foot, press the foot up. Let the shoulders soften and feel the stretch, the lengthening across the belly. On an exhalation, release the leg back, the hand returns to the floor, pull the knee in, send your hips back to your heels, walk your hands forward again, one palm print, and stretch out an extended child. If your forehead touches the floor, you might just turn your head a little side to side. And coming back to center, pull yourself back into table position, hands and knees. Pulling the shoulders away from the ears. Take your left leg back behind you, pressing out through the heel. Scoop up through the belly, and then bend that knee, bringing it toward the buttocks. Take your right hand back behind you. Again, this might be enough balance and center work for you today. Or bring the hand to the foot, press the foot into the hand into the foot. Softening through the jaw. While you're here, as you exhale, can you feel the navel draw in? Can you feel the pelvic floor lift up? As you start to release this posture, the hand will come back to the floor. Sweep that left foot forward in between your hands into a knee down lunge. And then just take a moment, float back and forth a few times just to say hello to your hamstrings, open up through that psoas. And the next time that you come forward, stay there, but take a blanket under the knee if your knee's starting to tell you it's time. And then we're going to just fly in our knee down lunge by lifting the torso up a little, taking our arms out to our sides. Hug the belly in, reach up through the crown of the head. Now, if you'd like to work a little more, you can bring your hands back down to the floor, turn your back toes under, come into your full lunge, hug the legs in, and fly in the full lunge. So you're hinging over your front thigh, finding your balance. Here, the legs pull into the pelvis, lift the pelvic floor up, engage the abdominal wall. And then as you exhale, the hands release to the floor, lower the back knee to the floor, send your hips back. Take that left knee to meet the right, and just send your hips side to side a few times. Coming back into center, draw the navel in and step your right foot forward in between your hands, making any adjustments that you need to. If you're coming into the full lunge, turn your back toes under, lift up into that full lunge. The legs are pulling in strong. Find your position and then float your arms up like airplane wings to hold yourself up. Imagine your hands are actually touching the ceiling and you're pressing against the ceiling. And then draw in with the abdominal wall. Root into your front foot, pressing out through your back heel. Finding your balance and connecting to your breath. With your next exhalation, release the hands down, back knee comes to the floor. Shift the hips back, bring the right hip back, hips to your heels. Once more, finding that child's pose. Letting the body catch up with the breath catch up with the body. Sliding your hands forward, pressing yourself all the way up and shifting your hips off of your feet to take your legs out in front of you. And find Dandasana, staff pose. In Dandasana, the staff pose, the hands press into the floor or the fingertips. And you're energetically pressing from the pelvis through the heels and the pelvis through the crown of the head. And then we'll just make this an upward staff pose by bringing the arms up over our head as well. And I'd like you to go back to doing a few of the belly pull-ins. So you breathe in. As you exhale, exhale to a count of 4 as you draw your navel in, as you draw the ribs back into the body. Inhaling. Exhale, pull in, pull in, pull in, pull in. Inhale, expand. Exhale, pull in, pull in, pull in, pull in. Keep going at your own pace. If it's too much to hold the arms up, you could hold them out. You can also just keep the fingers on the floor. So honor where your body is. Listening. When we listen from our center. So listen to what your body needs. It's a full breath in. Exhale, pull in, pull in, pull in, pull in. One more time. If your arms are overhead at the end of that exhalation, release them all the way down. Taking a full breath in. Exhaling and softening. And then walk your right hand out, one handprint, lift the left arm up and stretch over toward that right side. And as you do that, press your right hand into the floor to press your left hip down toward the floor. Keep reaching up through the crown of the head. And then you're going to lighten the load on your right hand and lift it a tiny bit off the floor. Again, place that left arm where it's most comfortable for your shoulder. Keep reaching out through the soles of your feet and lifting through the crown of your head. And just notice, can you feel the work of your obliques and your intercostals? And then just for fun, lift your left foot off the floor a little bit, left leg off the floor. Breathe and smile. And then lower the hand down, lower the leg down. Lift yourself all the way up, releasing the left arm. And just take a moment, soften your legs, let your toes point forward, close your eyes, and notice, what do you feel? Pulsing, vibration, heat, maybe even coolness, tingling, strength. Press through your heels again. Feel the legs engaged and feel that automatic lifting from your pelvis through the crown of your head. Take your arms out to your side. Release the left fingers and palm to the floor. The right arm comes up toward the sky, or any place that feels good to you. Tip over just a little, so you start to feel that work of lengthening and contracting. Let the shoulders relax away from your ears as you reach through the crown of the head. And then just lift the left hand off the floor. And notice what starts to happen. There might be an automatic lifting of your right hip. So then press the left hand into the floor, press the right hip down and away, and just feel that dynamic. And then begin to release that left hand from the floor again. And now the right leg goes up. It's a lot to think about, left, right. Really working all those brain muscles here, as well as leg muscles. Now don't forget, are your abs working for you? Can you really engage through transverse abdominis here to help you hold that leg up? And then lower the left hand, lower the right leg. Inhale, come all the way up, and exhale, release. Take a moment, hands in the lap, to just feel. And then go ahead and bend your knees a little bit and let yourself fold or drape over your legs. If you can, hold on to your toes and pull the toes a little bit and drop the chin in towards your chest. Deepen the stretch. You might choose to stay right there because that's comfortable for your hamstrings. You could also lift the head and start to slide the legs forward and let yourself just fold over your legs into a version of Paschimottanasana, or posterior west stretch. The arms can come down along the floor, and just allowing the rounding of your spine. You can choose to drop your head in towards your chest or to reach the crown of your head towards your toes. Notice your breath here. Taking 3 more breaths here. After your 3rd breath, engage your abdominal wall, press into your palms, lift yourself all the way up. And then once more, bend your knees, draw your tailbone under, and begin to lower yourself down onto the floor. Bringing your right knee into your chest, hands below the thigh or around the shin. Straighten your left leg toward the front edge of your mat. And as you tug your right knee in, press lightly through the heel, and then press out through the left heel. Back of the neck stays long. Coming into half wind relieving pose. Keeping your left hand on your knee, take your right arm out to the side and then draw that right leg across the body, coming into a twist. You can slide the right foot to the top of the left thigh if you'd like and reach out through the left heel. If you're turning your head to the right, lift the head and then turn. Feeling the breath here. On the inhale, bringing the head back to center and send that knee back over to the right side. Lower the foot to the floor. Adjust your hips, your shoulders, your head. Relax that leg down. Take a moment just noticing the right and left side of the body. And then as you're ready, press out through the right heel, pull the left knee into the chest, hugging the knee in, finding the hand placement that works for you. And just pull in as you reach out. Notice the openness of the belly on the right side, the compression of the belly on the left side. Using this as a way to connect to your center. Drawing your right hand to your knee, the left arm comes out at your side in T position, and taking that left leg over the body to the opposite side, the foot can rest on the thigh. And deciding which direction would feel best for your neck by looking straight up to the left or to the right. Staying connected to your center. And hugging the navel in slightly, start to return that left knee over to the left side of the body. Returning the head, again, adjusting the hips, the shoulders, the head. With your heels on the ground, begin to oscillate or swoosh your body by anchoring your heels and then pulling and pushing through the heels so that the toes go forward and back, the feet go forward and back. Your whole body starts to shake, top to bottom. And let out a little sound. Take a big breath in. Exhale. Give your head a little turn. Make any other little small wiggle or movement that you need to before finding rest. As you come into rest, just place your hands on your belly for a moment. Let go of all the work of strengthening the core. And just listen. What does your center have to say to you right now? The strength we create in our physical body only helps to strengthen our mental and emotional body. You're welcome to leave the hands here or return them to your sides for just a few minutes of relaxation. Scan the body quickly just to see if there's any part of you that is asking for a little wiggle or a movement, a release. Until you've found that perfect spot for right now to let go. Take a moment now to float your hands back to your belly. Just notice the movement of the belly as you breathe. Sometimes to touch base with our inner self, with our center, we need to connect and we need to breathe. Feel the connection of your breath with your body with your breath, and feel your breath in your center. And then feel your center tell you how to stretch and move in any way that brings you back into your body. And letting out any sounds or sighs. And eventually bending your knees and rolling over to your favorite side, supporting your head as you need to. Take a moment here to affirm your ability to move from your center, to connect with your center. And using your top hand, navel draws in, press down into the floor to lift yourself all the way up to a comfortable seated position. As you find yourself settled here, bring a hand to your belly, a hand to your heart. Feel your breath. And taking in these words today, meeting the edge of the world, kissing the map of possibility spread out beneath. Meeting the edge of the world, breathe in as deep as the earth is deep. Breathe out as steep as the precipice. Hold your gaze on the unknown. Hold it, know it, because it knows you and holds you. Feel neither fear nor wonder, just the space between what was and what could be. Greet the edge. Go over it, then feel for a moment just what it is. Sometimes moving from our center can be scary, like we're at the edge, and we go over or we pull back. Feel the connection you have to your center. And in closing our class, let's share the sound of Om together, inviting the breath into the body. Bringing your hands to your heart in Anjali Mudra and bowing your head to your heart. Hari Om, peace, peace, peace. May there be peace within each one of you. May there be peace on this journey that is your life. And may you know that you are exactly where you are meant to be at this moment. The light in me sees the light in each of you. Jai Bhagwan.